Be ready. Start. Besides the language of sections 138 and 142, which clearly postulates only one cause of action, there are other formidable impediments which negate the concept of successive causes of action. One of them is that for dishonor of one check, there can be only one offense, and such offense is committed by the drawer immediately on his failure to make the payment within 15 days of the receipt of the notice served in accordance with Clause B of the proviso to Section 138. That necessarily means that for similar failure after service of fresh notice on subsequent dishonor, the drawer cannot be liable for any offense, nor can the first offense be treated as non-est so as to give the payee a right to file a complaint treating the second offense as the first one. At that stage, it will not be a question of waiver of the right of the payee to prosecute the drawer, but of absolution of the drawer of an offense which stands already committed by him and which cannot be committed by him again. The other impediment to the acceptance of the concept of successive causes of action is that it will make the period of limitation under clause C of section 142 OTOs for a payee who failed to file his complaint within 1 month and thereby forfeited his right to prosecute the drawer can circumvent the above limitative clause by filing a complaint on the basis of a fresh representation of the check and its dishonor. Since in the interpretation of statutes, the court always presumes that the legislature inserted every part thereof for a purpose, and the legislative intention is that every part should have effect, the above conclusion cannot be drawn, for that will make the provision for limiting the period of making the complaint nugatory. Having given our anxious consideration to this question, we are of the opinion that the above two provisions can be harmonized with the interpretation that on each presentation of the check and its dishonor, a fresh right and not cause of action accrues in his favor. He may, therefore, without taking preemptory action in exercise of his such right under clause B of section 138, go on presenting the check so as to enable him to exercise such right at any point of time during the validity of the check. But once he gives a notice under clause B of section 138, he forfeits his right, for in case of failure of the drawer to pay the money within the stipulated time, he would be liable for offense and the cause of action for filing the complaint will arise. Needless to say, the period of 1 month for filing the complaint will be reckoned from the day immediately following the day on which the period of 15 days from the date of the receipt of the notice by the drawer expires. Proviso to section 138, however, is all important and stipulates three distinct conditions precedent which must be satisfied before the dishonor of a check can constitute an offense and become punishable. The first condition is that the check ought to have been presented to the bank within a period of 6 months from the date on which it is drawn or within the period of its validity, whichever is earlier. The second condition is that the payee or the holder in due course of the check, as the case may be, ought to make a demand for the payment of the said amount of money by giving a notice in writing to the drawer of the check within 30 days of the receipt of information by him from the bank regarding the return of the check as unpaid. The third condition is that the drawer of such a check should have failed to make payment of the said amount of money to the payee, or as the case may be, to the holder in due course of the check within 15 days of the receipt of the said notice. It is only upon the satisfaction of all the three conditions mentioned above and enumerated under the proviso to section 138 as clauses A, B and C thereof that an offence under section 138 can be said to have been committed by the person issuing the check. Section 142 of the Negotiable Instruments Act governs taking of cognizance of the offence and starts with a non obstante clause. It provides that no court shall take cognizance of any offence punishable under section 138 except upon a complaint in writing made by the payee, or as the case may be, by the holder in due course, and such complaint is made within 1 month of the date on which the cause of action arises under clause C of the proviso to section 138. In terms of subsection C to section 142, no court inferior to that of a metropolitan magistrate or a judicial magistrate of the first class is competent to try any offence punishable under section 138. Thank you.